All right, so here I am back again. Week 5, it's 19, day 19. And we're gonna go ahead and get this going. What I want to do is briefly talk about today the complexity of the issue of police brutality. Now, I've had two very contrasting different Saturdays. I call this the story of two Saturdays because they really get into some of the underlying issues, what I call the elephants in the room in regards to police brutality. Now, the first one is that we assume all police officers are bad. That's stereotyping and prejudice. That's just as wrong as any other stereotype or prejudice. So last Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago, it was my birthday. I had a DD, and sure enough, the cops pulled me over. I was headed over to a friend's house. Cops pulled me over, ran a sobriety check on my designated driver. My designated driver passed the test, but they didn't want them to drive. And they offered me a ride around the corner to go over to my friend's house. I, of course, given the recent news, didn't want to and didn't really trust them to do so.
Give me a ride, where?
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, after some persuasion, I went ahead and complied and rode in the back seat, and they literally took me to my friend's house. On that ride there, because obviously if I'm doing these videos, you know, police brutality and injustice is something that I'm worried about and I'm passionate about. So I briefly bring that up to the officers, and they were rather understanding. You know, I was just saying how I'm just glad it wasn't an aggressive conversation. They didn't, you know, overuse their force on me, and how I appreciated that. And it was refreshing to see some officers protecting and serving.
Right.
And how that really challenged my beliefs, and how that was healthy. Now, the other situation was, now let's fast forward to this weekend. Let's just say I attended a black bonfire, keep the names out of it, and all black bonfire in the country. And
we do bonfires too.
Yeah. And I had
Guy right on the camera, man.
Yeah, guy right again. The message is still relevant.
The message is always relevant.
And some guys wrestling, and you know what guys sometimes do by a campfire. I made a comment along the lines of, hey, maybe if I decide to wrestle later tonight, I'll wrestle you. The guy took the comment the wrong way, and in short, decided to want to fight me about it. Now, I didn't want to fight primarily because I'm in a protest, in the middle of a protest for peace. It's not that I can't fight or I'm scared to fight and I'm backing down and running, but I choose a different route at this point in time. And so time and time again, I say that I don't want to fight, I want peace. And they didn't, unlike the cops the previous week, when I wouldn't be quiet about Mike Brown, and they were understanding. These individuals, like I said, at this all-black campfire, decided to jump me anyway. After repeating that I didn't want to fight and I didn't want peace, and I was jumped. Now, the irony of this situation is that as bad as police brutality is, you know, I'm way more likely to die at the hands of black-on-black crime or get jumped than I am for something to happen to me with the police. And that's messed up, that's sad, that needs to change also.
Right.
And oftentimes we don't realize that's why the elephant in the room is, that's why a lot of our communities are over-policed. Because of the high crime rate that needs to change. So the next day I was left with a few different decisions. And this is the result of what happened. You know what I'm saying? So this is real. Not making this up.
Right. Ain't no scripts for it.
Yeah. And I can't help but feel like I was tried. They tested me out because they saw my protest. Some of them are my Facebook friends. And I kind of felt like they felt like, because I was talking that peaceful stuff, I was the one to try that night. Now, I was left with 3 decisions. I could, 1, retaliate. You know, I'm born and raised in this area. You think I don't have friends that can get down like that and do that, and are about that life? I could. But an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. And best case scenario I could do is make their eye look like my eye, make them feel the pain that I felt, and go from there. Or you give it to law enforcement. Many of the individuals involved are fathers and parents and families. I didn't feel like that was the best way to handle it, because I don't want to take fathers and people in their family are important, and I didn't want to. It was a stupid thing to fight over, so I thought it was stupid for somebody to miss out on their family or something like that for a stupid night and a dumb decision. So I chose the third option that I really made up, which was bringing light to the issue of peace, and how, as a grown man, sometimes it's just better to walk away. Sometimes it's better to not put your family at risk. Sometimes it's better to not put your life at risk for the overall greater good. And if I can do that, you know, then, you know, that's something that should happen way more often. It's okay to sometimes say no, so that later that night you can go home and kiss your child on the forehead.
Right.
You know, sometimes it's better to just say no and it's sucking your pride so that you keep your job. You know, sometimes it's better to just make the right decision. So I challenge you, you know, and if this message reaches somebody that's in a position where they feel like they need to get revenge or strike back, realize there is another option. There's an option of peace. Because hurt people, and it's a cycle that continues.
Vicious cycle.
Yeah, and if at some point we don't stop that cycle, we're doomed to fall victim to it. So that's my message on A Tale of Two Saturdays. I hope it reaches home for somebody, and hopefully we can change. And that's my message. Thank you for your time, and God bless.